Attention if you are applying for a loan to buy a house from a bank. Because they must give you the European Standardized Information Sheet, known as the ESIS, and at the moment you accept that proposal from the bank through the European Standardized Information Sheet, it becomes a binding offer. A binding offer, and they must indicate the duration of that binding offer. And you need to know it and be aware of how long that period is. Why? Because when the period of the binding offer ends, that European Standardized Information Sheet, that binding offer, will no longer be valid, and you will most likely have to go back to the notary to sign the Transparency Act again, which is signed once you have signed the binding offer and they give you that period for the binding offer. So you have to go to the notary so they can explain the consequences of that loan to you. The notary will not advise you on the loan, on the interest rate, etc. That is the bank's responsibility. But the notary will explain to you the consequences of what you are about to sign in that Transparency Act. And then 10 days must pass from the Transparency Act. On the 11th day, you could already sign the deed of sale with the loan. But it must coincide that this time falls within the period they gave you at the beginning when you signed the binding offer. Because it might happen that you sign the Transparency Act, the 11 days pass and in the meantime the sale is not ready. That is to say, the loan is fully prepared, but the sale is not. Something is missing, or one of the sellers is not able to sign within that time frame. So, this is very important to be clear about, so that it is communicated to the person preparing the deed of sale so the timings match. Because it might happen that your binding offer, let's say, expires, is no longer valid, and the signing hasn't yet taken place. So, what would happen? They would have to review the loan again. The Transparency Act would have to be done again, etc. So it's very important that the preparation of the deed of sale and the loan deed align and coincide. Knowing you, the one requesting the loan, the amount of time you have to sign the loan, which may sound obvious, but many people either don't know it or don't remember it, or weren't given it properly, or don't understand it, etc. So pay close attention to the time they give you to sign the loan, so that the binding offer remains valid. Well, if you have any doubts, at the WhatsApp phone number 6930-23926, we can help you for a very small fee, via video call, and we'll be in touch to help you always. Best regards and see you in future videos. God willing, thank you.